Happy Formative Friday. Today is the 18th of November, 2011. The I Can't statement is to understand the origins and implications of the Holocaust. We'll continue talking about this on Monday or Tuesday before the test next Wednesday. Notes that we took over this, a lot of this was just visual. We talked about what are the implications of how did Adolf Hitler get into his position of power. Talked about his relationship with Benito Mussolini, and then the significance of having the Olympics in Germany at this time, giving kind of a broader worldwide audience to the policies of Germany and Adolf Hitler specifically, and how that whole master race thing didn't pan out exactly well, or Germany would have won all of the gold medals. And then we talked about propaganda and how propaganda was used and discussed that for quite a while. And then we also talked about how propaganda was also used in the United States and just gave some examples of that, how things that happened then would certainly not be very politically correct for today. So just some examples of that. So we finished up also with Nuremberg laws, the idea that first it starts out any kind of propaganda, posters, something that seems, for a lack of a better word, harmless, and then how that kind of morphs into laws, government policies, and then how that goes even one step further with Kristallnacht, Night of Broken Glass. We talked a little bit about the history of that, but so it goes from again just posters. What's the harm in having posters? To well, okay, now there are laws, and now people have to identify themselves as a specific religion. To now, because of that identification, it's much easier to target those people. We also watched this cartoon. They say it's banned in the U.S. I don't want that to be any cause for alarm, but that's also on YouTube if you're interested in watching it. About 10 minutes and 11 seconds, and just talked about how again this idea of propaganda happened on all sides. We're not pointing fingers at anybody, or also we're not relieving anybody of responsibility, but propaganda is definitely a tool that's used worldwide. And then we talked about how forced emigration was kind of a preferred method of Germany trying to get the Jewish population out of Germany, and gave an example, the SS St. Louis, and then just kind of read through that, talked about again the implications of that. There's a movie, The Voyage of the Damned, about this particular incident, and the kids were pretty interested, had not heard this story, with some exceptions, but hadn't heard this story before. So it was nice that we took something like the Holocaust that they understand the concepts, they understand, they have a good foundation of what the Holocaust was all about, and then just kind of extended it a little bit. So it was good. It was very good. So we did quite a few notes today. If you missed today, also Formative Friday, you missed a lot. That's not what I wanted. There. Next week. Next week, it's a 3-day week. I'm sending this out to all the parents here in just a few minutes. But what we're going to do is finish up the notes over Western Europe on Monday. Again, talking about the Holocaust and also talking about more current events with Germany as kind of the example of Western Europe, but also talking about other countries specifically. Then we're going to review for the quiz on Wednesday, do a practice quiz, check YouTube. So I'll put some of the questions on the YouTube site on the 22nd, and then again on the 23rd. That's when we have the test. It'll be about 25 questions, multiple choice, matching, true, false, that kind of thing. So there it is. That's also the schedule for next week. Have a good weekend.